Hey boys and girls, I'm back with another story. This is another Tennessee story for you first graders who are studying Tennessee. This is called The Great Ball Game, and this says it's a Muskogee story, and it's also retold by Joseph Bruchac, just like the first Strawberries was retold by Joseph Bruchac. Now, this story says it's a Muskogee story, and simply that just means that it's also a tribe of Native Americans, but they also had some Cherokee that were part of them. A lot of the Cherokee Indians that lived in our area actually had to move to another part of our country around the Oklahoma area, and several tribes kind of went together and they kind of formed into an area called Muskogee. And so this is still a story from Cherokee people who lived here in Tennessee, but it possibly could have been told when they had moved to the Oklahoma area. Now, this is another story of how something came to be. Now, remember I told you when we talked when I did the first Strawberries that in the Cherokee tribe, and honestly in a lot of Native American tribes, storytelling was very important, and this is how Cherokee little boys and girls, this is how they learned. Yes, their mothers taught them things and their fathers taught them things, but it was the storyteller who taught them a lot about who they were and about their tribe. And so this is just one of the stories that was told to boys and girls to help them learn about their tribe. Now, Joseph Bruchac, again, this says it's retold by him. He did not write this story. He did not think this story up in his head. He's retelling it because it had been told to him. Joseph Bruchac is also Native American. I've had the pleasure to meet him before at a conference, and I've heard him do storytelling, and he is an amazing storyteller. He enjoys it very much because it allows him to continue to retell these stories to other boys and girls to keep these stories alive, but he also likes to write them down so that they can be in book form, and you can read them or check them out from your library. All right, now this story has always been a fun one. I've always had boys and girls love this story called The Great Ball Game. So let's hear what happens in this story. It's retold by Joseph Bruchac and illustrated by Susan Roth. Today I am going to be reading the story to you, and Wynn will be my page turner. This is a story, it says evidently this one has been autographed by Joseph Bruchac. This is not my book. I bought it off Amazon, so it used to belong to a boy named Bradley, but very cool that we have Mr. Joseph Bruchac's autograph right there. All right, and here this tells us a little bit about this story, because in this story you're going to learn that it is about a game called stickball, and that was a very common game that lots of different tribes would play. It was kind of similar to lacrosse, if any of you have seen a game of lacrosse played, but instead the native tribes called this stickball, and it still is a game that's played today. Long ago, the birds and the animals had a great argument. "We who have wings are better than you," said the birds. "That is not so," the animals replied. "We who have teeth are better." The two sides argued back and forth. Their quarrel went on and on until it seemed that they would go to war because of it. Then Crane, the leader of the birds, and Bear, the leader of the animals, had an idea. "Let us have a ball game," Crane said. "The first side to score a goal will win the argument." "This idea is good," said Bear. "The side that loses will have to accept the penalty given by the other side." So they walked and they flew to a field, and there they divided up into two teams. On one side went all those who had wings. They were the birds. On the other side went all those with teeth. They were the animals. But when the teams were formed, one creature was left out. Bat. He had wings and teeth. He flew back and forth between the two sides. Oh yeah, look, see, here's his teeth and his wings. Which team would you put him on? Let's see what the birds and the animals decide. First, he went to the animals. I have teeth, he said. I must be on your side. But Bear shook his head. It would not be fair, he said. You have wings. You must be a bird. Okay, the animals didn't let him be on their team. Let's see, maybe the birds will let him be on their team. So Bat flew to the other side. Take me, he said to the birds, for you see I have wings. But the birds laughed at him. You're too little to help us. We don't want you, they jeered. Oh dear, who's going to take Bat? Let's see. Then Bat went back to the animals. Please, let me join your team, he begged them. The birds laughed at me and told me, the birds laughed at me and would not accept me. So Bear took pity on the little Bat. You're not very big, said Bear, but sometimes even the small ones can help. We will accept you as an animal, but you must hold back and let the bigger animals play first. Okay, so he's going to be a part of the animal team. 2 poles were set up as goalposts at each end of the field. Then the game began. Each team played hard. On the animal side, Fox and Deer were swift runners, and Bear cleared the way for them as they played. Crane and Hawk, though, were even swifter, and they stole the ball each time before the animals could reach their goal. Soon it became clear that the birds had the advantage. Whenever they got the ball, they would fly up into the air, and the animals could not reach them. The animals guarded their goal well, but they grew tired as the sun began to set. Just as the sun sank below the horizon, Crane took the ball and flew towards the pole. Bear tried to stop him, but stumbled in the dim light and fell. It seemed as if the birds would surely win. Suddenly, a small, dark shape flew onto the field and stole the ball from Crane just as he was about to reach the poles. It was Bat. He darted from side to side across the field, for he did not need light to find his way. None of the birds could catch him or block him. Oh, that's right. Bats can see at night, can't they? So now that the light is a little bit more dim, it's okay for Bat. He can still see. Holding the ball, the Bat flew right between the poles at the other end. The animals had won. This is how Bat came to be accepted as an animal. He was allowed to set the penalty for the birds. You birds, Bat said, must leave this land for half of each year. So it is that the birds fly south each winter. And every day at dusk, Bat still comes flying to see if the animals need him to play ball. And that's the end of the Great Ball Game. All right, I hope you enjoyed that story, boys and girls. Make sure you take the AR quiz because it does have a quiz for it as well. And make sure you take the one on the first strawberries as well. All right, boys and girls, until the next video, bye!